We're about to set sail for a 700-mile passage through the most notorious pirate territory in all of the Caribbean.
I like this.
Shelter Bay Marina, Lori Sue.
Lori Sue, go ahead.
Hey, we're just getting ready to depart here. We're fine on our own, but if you guys, if you guys are around and want to give us a hand, we'll be about 4 or 5 minutes.
Copy that, Captain. I'm on my way, over.
Copy, thank you.
Flying with you, okay?
Okay.
And everything else will come off, right?
Yeah. I'll hold it.
Other marinas, they realize, oh, wait a minute.
We don't go to all that many, but you guys are
Thank you.
one of our very, very favorites.
That's very nice of you guys. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you guys here.
We're on our way, you guys. We've been in Panama, especially Shelter Bay Marina, way too long. It was a great stay. We were plugged in, we were blasting the AC until yesterday when the AC broke. Still haven't figured out what it is, but last night was our rude awakening of how spoiled we were with the AC because it was hot and humid last night. I'll see if I can diagnose it a little bit later, but we were in Shelter Bay for quite a while. We got a bunch of boat work and maintenance done, easy little stuff, and we're off. We were waiting for this weather window. We finally got a decent weather window to get out of Panama. Right now we're just motoring out, and we're gonna motor up like 20 miles up the coast. Our bottom is probably completely fouled with barnacles and growth. So we're gonna motor 20 miles up the coast, meet our friends Basic, Lynn and Teal up there. They're already on their way. And we'll just clean the bottom up there, and then hopefully tomorrow morning we head offshore. Probably be, I don't know, around 4 or 5 days to like the Bay Islands of Honduras. Just hoping nothing goes wrong, everything goes smooth. But first we gotta get out of here. It's gonna be a slow, bumpy ride, 20 miles up the coast to clean the bottom.
Yeah, you don't think so?
What's wrong?
Lynn and Teal are sailing back in with their head sail. Maybe they're just waiting for us.
No, she's having some issues.
Uh-oh. How you guys doing over there? Do you need a hand with anything? So happy, Jenny? Where are we? Are we finally out of the marina and on the anchor? Yeah, are you so happy? Good girl. Sarah's got the bridle on, so we'll just drop that last little bit and back onto the chain here. Alright guys, we're here in Buenaventura. We're right next to Portobello over there. We were going so slow. We sailed for a little bit, but we motored most of it just because the wind was right on our nose. And we were only going like 3 to 4 knots because we probably have so much growth on the bottom of the boat, but especially on the running gear. I couldn't even get the engines up to near their proper RPM. Like I couldn't even get them up to like 2,500 RPMs. That's really bad. And they should be able to get up to like 3,100 RPMs max, right around there. Running gear is really fouled up, so we'll clean that tonight or tomorrow. Make sure the whole bottom is nice and clean so we can motor and sail efficiently.
Okay, my friends, it feels so good to be back on anchor and out of the marina. We were in the marina for over 2 months, which is crazy, but we are so close to heading out on our longest offshore sail yet through pirate territory nonetheless. But we do have a couple things we have to do before we go. One of them is taking Jetty for her last little walk on land, and the other is cleaning the bottom because it is disgusting. But before we jump in, I gotta tell you about today's video sponsor, and that is Saily. We have tried many different eSIM services over the years, but Saily has easily been the most reliable and user-friendly one that we've tried. With Saily, you only have to download one eSIM once, that's it, and then you can choose from affordable different data plans in over 200 countries. So for example, we are in Panama now. When we get to Honduras or the Caymans or wherever we end up on this trip, all I have to do is go on the app, press add data, choose the plan, and then pay. So you don't have to like dive into these settings and change a bunch of different things like you have to do on a bunch of other data plans, or download a whole new SIM, which is a pain in the butt. So it's super easy and it works. Like we have data when we're in these places. And you guys know we have internet on the boat, but as soon as we leave the boat, we are relying on local mobile data. And for us, we use that for things like using the translator, using Google Maps to find reefs offshore, or get to the immigration or the grocery store, or things as basic as listening to music while we're on a run, and Saily makes all of that possible. Saily also includes built-in security features, ad blockers, which helps you save a bunch of data, and 24/7 support. It works with both iOS and Android, and for some reason, if your device doesn't support eSIMs, you can get a full refund. To try it out yourself, all you have to do is download the Saily app or visit saily.com/Tula, and you can enter code Tula for 15% off at checkout. Thanks so much for watching.
It looks like Lynn and Teal got their whatever was wrong with their boat figured out. They're just arriving. Now they have to clean their bottom. Come on, Jets. Time to go to land for the last time in 5 days. How was it?
It's good and bad.
Uh-oh.
We're trying to figure things out. Well, we fixed one issue, right? The other issue is definitely the Belmars.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The controllers,
Yeah.
the regulators.
Yeah, but we can trick it now. So what we do, we could turn the keys off, and it fakes like the alternators turn off.
Okay.
And so then we could run. Because what was happening is that the batteries would come up, right? And as we're charged, right? Everything's great. We're cranking in whatever 100 amps of power. Then all of a sudden we get to 100% state of charge,
and
they keep
charging.
going.
Oh, geez.
That's been our problem.
Yeah.
And it did the same issue even with old alternators and new alternators. So
Wow.
There's
So
something in the Balmar.
has
We
to be-
can't do anything about it, but we have this. We can turn the switches to off,
Right.
and then it shuts down the
Oh, here.
alternator.
Nice.
Bye.
See you guys. Safe sailing.
Be safe!
We'll see
Fair
you somewhere.
winds.
Set.
Wow, good girl, Jenny.
Get that stick. You get that. When was the last time she's at the beach?
I know. You weren't at the beach for a while, Jets. Ready? Ready?
For months, right?
Ready?
Yeah. Yay. Are you a happy girl? Okay, friends, it is officially time to pull up the anchor and say goodbye to land for the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. Really all depends on where we decide to go. We have kind of 4 options. The Bay Islands off of Honduras, Cayman Islands, one tiny little Honduran island out in the middle of nowhere called Swan Island where you don't technically need to check in on, or all the way back to the Keys. We haven't officially decided which one we're gonna go to. I think we're leaning towards the Bay Islands, but it could change. And the kicker with all of these options, no matter which way we pick, is we have to go through the biggest pirate territory in all of the Caribbean.
Through or around. We're gonna try to go around.
So it is always recommended that you keep it used to be like 125 miles off the coast of Nicaragua. However, within the past couple months even, there have been not attacks per se, but close potential boardings of these pirates up to, like, how far was that last boat? 175 miles?
No, 125.
So now it's kind of getting recommended that you stay further and further away or go with a group of boats. So I think we're gonna try to stay at least like 175 to 200 miles off, because off of Honduras there's a bunch of little shallow banks where I guess a lot of these fishermen go on these big boats. They kind of hang out there and then these little boats go out from the big boats, and I think it's kind of opportunity theft where boats are going by and they kind of hop on board, but we just don't want to be a part of that at all. So we have our bear spray, we have our spear guns, we have our spears, and we have 3 people aboard, and then Teal and Lynn will be like probably catching up to us pretty quick. We're gonna leave today, they're gonna leave tomorrow, but they're a little bit faster than us, so hopefully we'll catch up. We had a friend go last week and he made it through, and he went straight through this pirate area and didn't have any issues. So glad that he made it safe, but also fingers crossed that it's gonna be a-okay for us. So we were just in the marina for a solid 2 months, the longest time we've ever spent in a marina. The AC was magical the entire time, and on our last day, she wanted to take a little break, so she quit on us, and Billy spent the entire day trying to figure out what was going on. He worked so hard, cramped in tiny little corners, was phoning Michael to see if he had any ideas, and we still haven't been able to figure it out. So it's been a little rough reacclimating to no AC, especially because it's really hot right now. And at least we're back on anchor where we get a breeze. We had a breeze last night, and now the next couple days will be offshore where hopefully we'll have a breeze as well, so it won't be as hot. But anyways, time to go.
I'm just gonna text her. Look, I'm just doing our engine pre-checks, and look what we got in our sea strainer.
Whoa.
Ooh, smells. And look, you see a little tiny shrimp in there too? Ready to go sailing, Jetty girl? All right, we got the mainsail up. Sierra is pulling up the anchor. We're about to head offshore. Beautiful conditions. We have a nice little breeze. We're gonna be close hauled like a lot of this trip, I think, but at least wind and seas are down. All right, you guys, this is basically us for the next like 3 days before we can kind of bear away. If we're going to the Bay Islands, I haven't really 100% decided. But we got wind out of like the east, northeast. We're close hauled, so we're sailing at 38 degrees to the true wind angle. And right now it's only like 12 to 15 knots, 12 to 14 knots. So a little bit light for just the jib and the full main, of course. But this is gonna be us. It's gonna be shifting between the east and northeast. So, and we're trying to go like straight north, at least for the first few days, like as much as we can. So it's going to be a balance between when we have plenty of wind, we'll be close hauled with the jib and the full main, trying to sail as close to the wind as possible. And when the wind is too light for that, we'll either motor and we'll have just the main up, and we'll kind of use that as an opportunity to get more north instead of getting pushed off of that course. And then if we want to, if we have a really good easterly angle and the wind is a little bit light, then we'll pull out the screecher and we'll be able to sail with the screecher. We're like borderline, right? Where it's a little too light for the jib is perfect for where the screecher starts, but any more than that, it's like a little too much for the screecher, and we're kind of pushing it. So we're like right at that border. And honestly, it's gonna be like that, I think. It's gonna be right on that edge, a little more at times, and then a little bit lighter at times. So we're doing 6.5 knots boat speed and 12.5 knots of wind with the jib and the main up. So the reason we want to like go north as much as possible and stay to the east as much as possible instead of falling off and going on a more direct course is to stay clear of that pirate area. So the more direct north we can stay, the more we'll stay away from this pirate zone. So we start getting pushed off too much, we're getting kind of pushed into that pirate territory.
Okay, what are your hopes, dreams, and expectations?
My hope is that I do not get sick on this trip and just have a blast that I'm having right now.
We're gonna get some lines in the water. We got that sucker we'll use. And then Sierra's gonna get another one in.
And Michael and Shelby had gotten us this amazing new rod and reel and this really cool lure for our trip to the Sea of Cortez, which we are obviously no longer doing. However, doesn't mean we're not going to catch fish on it.
Sierra, what is your hope today for fishing?
A tuna would be really nice. I could really go for some sushi.
Do you promise to make sushi if you get a tuna?
I promise to make sushi when we get there, if we get to
All right, wind lightened up too much already, so we're getting the screecher out. These guys are gonna pull the jib in. I'll get the screecher out. Hold on one sec, Sarah. Let me get ready first. All right, you guys go ahead.
Want to do that?
Oh, it's okay. Just keep.
Is that a bigger sail?
The one that's out now is bigger, yeah.
You're not doing it, you just keep it loose.
So the clutch has it shut, so because the clutch is shut, then we don't need it on the winch. And then the winch can be free for anything else.
Oh. So the winch is just a tool. Every time you want to use it, you use it.
Yep.
Good job, Sierra. Thank you. Thanks for the lesson. Maybe next time we'll do a little smoother. Is this a good place to catch fish?
Never been here before.
We'll see. We'll know in a little bit.
You tell me.
Okay, time to put your life jacket on if you're gonna be out here.
As we made our way further offshore and everyone's body was getting used to the motion of the ocean, this is what the next 36 hours look like. How you doing?
Making some coffee. Look, we're at a remote bank in the middle of nowhere. How far away are we from land? Like 200 miles? 100 miles? We've just been sleeping and sailing. It is definitely so much easier with 3 people, getting that extra bit of rest. It's so nice. We saw dolphins this morning, been seeing some birds here and there, caught that little tuna the first day. Wind has been pretty good, about what's expected, maybe slightly stronger. So we've been sailing probably half the time and motor sailing the other half in total, but the whole past day we've been sailing basically. Yeah, been kind of close hauled most of the time. Sometimes we're able to break off a little bit on a reach, but overall pretty good conditions, not too rough for being close hauled sailing. We're at this bank called Roncador Bank. San Andreas, which is a Colombian-owned island, is like 100 miles from here or so. Roncador is also Colombian-owned. It's like just an atoll with this little tiny sand island, like out here in the middle of nowhere. We're gonna stop here, I think, at least for the day and check it out. Maybe try to do some spear fishing or see what's underwater over here. Pretty cool spot. So apparently there is, like, you know, a handful of Colombian Navy or military that are on the island for like a month at a time. So I think we are supposed to go check in with them. I don't know how official the check-in process is. I think we just show them our papers. They like write our names down in a paper book or whatever. I don't even think they have internet or anything. And that's pretty much it, I think. Turn like 20 degrees to port. Yellow? Is it yellowfin?
Maybe.
You wanna gap? Yeah, let's gap him. It's a nice one.
Nice. Give me an update.
Caught some fish. Oh, the big blackfin tuna. Probably the biggest one we've ever caught. We're turning back around just because there were a bunch of them hitting the surface. We're gonna see if we snag another one before we go to the island, check in, anchor and everything. Oh yeah, got something on here too. This might be a cuda. When he's on the surface like that, Dad, you can just reel. Should be low resistance. It's like a yellow, is that a yellow jack?
A rainbow runner?
Say what? Just leave it now. Might be a yellow jack. Wow, you barely hooked. Alright.
You want him as a hooker? Good job.
That was beautiful. And there's something else in here. We are just arriving. Is it okay to anchor and rest for the day? ¿Está bien parar y descansar durante el día? Okay, iré a la isla con mi lancha en 30 minutos. ¿Está bien?
Sí, está bien.
Daddy.
This was from our Christmas potluck white elephant. We're gonna give it as a gift to the guys here. Hopefully they're allowed to have it. And we're gonna give them the barracuda we caught. Barracuda, people eat them all over down here because there's low risk of ciguatera. I don't know. We got a bunch of other fish, so we'll give them the barracuda. There's not much information on the internet about this place, but I did come across the experience of another sailboat who documented their experience stopping here, so I had an idea of what to expect. It still was kind of intimidating walking up the beach to a bunch of armed, uniformed Colombian military guys, but they ended up being really friendly, and when I gave them the barracuda and the bottle of booze, they were all smiles. The language barrier was a little tough with my rudimentary Spanish and inability to use a translating app because there was no internet or cell service to connect to, but we all got the basic idea, and after they checked our boat papers and passports, they were happy to take a picture with me and said no problem for us to be there for a few days. If only my dad knew how friendly and cordial the interaction actually was.
No, I don't like this.
Did it go smoothly? Yeah. Like 10 Colombian guys with like, I don't know what kind of guns they were. Automatics. Were they pointing them at you at all? No, not at all. They were cool. They were all friendly and all pretty young. Like, I was surprised. They're all like less, I don't think that any of them were probably over 40.
Were they psyched on the CUDA?
Yeah.
Could you communicate at all?
A little bit. They just needed to see, like, they took pictures of all our documents and everything. That's really good.
Okay, the next time that you think my levels are like this, you need to remember where you come from. Because he was over here with the binoculars saying, oh my god, they got him on his knees! They got him on his knees! They got him on his knees! They're pointing the guns at him! 10 guys are coming out! 10 guys are coming.
Joking around?
No! Dead serious!
So I don't understand what you're.
And he's like, you want to see? Because you think I got all this anxiety.
You were freaking out. Huh?
He's like, you want to see? So I look at the binoculars, and you got your you're squatted down.
To get the papers out without them blowing everywhere.
You can see that they're like looking at your papers. You're like squatted down. It was pretty funny.
Should we go check out the island?
Did they say we could?
Yeah. They said sometimes fishermen are like, that's what, you know, they camp out there. But I don't see any boats. I doubt they're there.
Come on, crazy girl.
You can just crack it over the steps. I'm gonna rinse them down. Was it good? Watch the big hook behind your head.
5-second rule.
Okay, I think we can agree that this is the best part about like going offshore is like finding places like this. Now, what was your least favorite part?
Getting here.
My least favorite part is just feeling uncomfortable. I just wish I felt completely normal. Yummy, thank you. So good.
Going over here.
Almost done. Not as fast as I used to be, but I still got it.
Although the Colombian military guys said we could stay a few days, we decided that the weather was still really favorable for us, so we might as well take advantage and set off sailing again while it was still light enough to make our way out of the maze of coral heads. We had great and uneventful sailing for the next 24 hours while we were still in the protection of the area that is generally monitored by the Colombian Navy, but the following evening we would come close to the Thunder Knoll fishing grounds, where there was a recent report of a cruising boat being approached closely by a few pangas despite being over 100 miles offshore. Nothing came of this incident as the cruising boat reported to have shown their signs of force and the pangas apparently getting the message and leaving them alone, so we decided to run dark for that evening with all of our running lights off and automatic identification system turned off, and the person on watch maintaining an extra level of alertness. Luckily, we only saw 1 or 2 ships who passed us with plenty of room, and by daybreak the next day we were clear of Thunder Knoll fishing grounds. We were finally able to take a hard turn to port and sail downwind toward our destination of the Honduran Bay Islands. Tara makes these little egg bites and freezes them before we go offshore, and they're perfect like offshore breakfast. Just pop them in the oven. She made muffins too, which we ate already, which are really good. Okay, faster. Faster. It's not going.
Would you guys be down for a poke bowl?
Sure. Alright, we went by these big, huge patches of sargassum weed. We saw a mahi right here on this one. We saw them hit the surface. So they're definitely around. And we've been jigging a little bit with bucktails on the spinning rods. But we're going to hop in and see if we can spear something.
As much as we love fishing, there is nothing cooler than checking out these unique ecosystems from beneath the surface. Unfortunately, it's pretty rare that we get to do this because it's usually just the 3 of us, and Jetty hasn't quite mastered captaining the boat yet. And we like to always dive with a buddy for safety, so we're usually just left to wondering what's below. But with Bill on this passage with us, he was able to captain Lori Sue while Billy and I took a peek below the surface. And I have to say, this is one of the coolest feelings in the world. A couple 100 miles from land, floating in 6,000 feet of water. There was certainly tons of life below the surface, but unfortunately the only mahi we spotted bolted right away. So we got out empty-handed, but a few minutes later, our luck turned around.
Oh my god. Woo, hop.
Ready.
Alright. Smile. What do you like to eat? Good job. With fresh fish on board and some excitement for the day, we were back to sailing downwind to our destination. Everyone had their jobs to do, whether it was jetty, making sure to take care of business on the trampolines.
Good job.
Or us with driving maneuvers downwind, trying to find the best angle to Guanaja. This all lasted until I decided I needed a little more excitement and some exercise. I'm Billy, and this is Open Ocean Foiling. On over here. Whoa, what are you making?
Coconut crusted mahi fingers in the air fryer because the air fryer is the greatest thing ever. How does it look?
Really good. Are those my fresh coconut flakes too?
Yes, they are.
Wow. And we're just flying along at the sun.
Luckily, it's calm enough out that I can be in here.
We'll be to Guanaja, one of the Bay Islands, tomorrow at some point, midday probably around. And we're just flying along with the spinnaker, jibing a little bit back and forth. And it's been really nice and calm. We got a little more breeze than yesterday, because yesterday we had nothing. We were going really slow most of the day. We motored at night a bit because we were going so slow. Our bird friend has been all around the boat, caught some fish yesterday. Really haven't been fishing today at all because there's been so much sargassum weed in the water. Actually, the whole trip there's been so much weed in the water. It's like basically if I feel like just going back and forth across the boat, clearing the lines, clearing that side to clearing that side, then back to that side, back to that side. If I don't feel like doing that, then I just take the lures out of the water because they just snag weed immediately and then just dragging weed and not catching fish. It's been a really nice trip. That's it for now. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's just crazy how much sargassum weed is out here, just constantly. So many big patches and then just a bunch of little bits everywhere. It's so nuts. These are Sierra's delicious fish fingers. We ate like most of them already, but they're delicious. Cheers. Alright guys, we're all checked in. We did immigration, we did the port captain, dealt with a few locals asking for money. But overall, it's pretty cool town.
Yeah, it's very clean and it's all right on the water. It's pretty crazy. The immigration guy was telling us that, I mean, you have the whole island of Guanaja, but everything is on this little tiny rock. And it's been that way forever, and they all like it like that.
I mean, there's some things on the main island, but yeah, generally.
But then we're looking, so we're on this tiny rock with building after building after building, and then we're looking at the mainland. It's just green and lush. It's pretty crazy.
This guy, Williams, is like a kind of a guide. I told him I'd give him a few bucks to give us a lift. We don't really need a tour or anything. He's giving us a lift just back and forth to the boat so we don't have to launch the dinghy. All right, guys, we just moved over to just a different anchorage. A little more where like cruisers hang out instead of like right in front of town over there. And we're about to eat some dinner, but look, I made conch salad with that conch we got the other day at Roncador Bank, and I put some whatever we had in there, which is cucumbers and some coconut flakes and lemon juice and stuff like that. Ceviche, conch salad. And Sierra made some delicious ribs. And mac and cheese. And roasted potatoes. Dad, do you have any parting words for the camera? I guess you'll be on there tomorrow. My dad's flying out in a couple days, and but tomorrow we're gonna explore Guanaja a little bit. So we'll probably end the video here, and then on the next video we'll show you a little bit of Guanaja. Good job, team.
Good job.
We made it.
Oh yeah. Thanks for taking me,
Sierra and Billy.
Thanks for bringing me on this
Thanks for coming.
life-changing adventure. Sure is.
What kind of life change?
How is it life changing?
Just amazing. Just unbelievable. Yeah.
Gonna sell everything and buy a sailboat?
You never know. You never know. Mad Max Bill.
What's that guy's name?
Which one?